Welcome to CBTSport.net Game of the Week. Bringing you high school, college, amateur, semi-professional sports video. Over a decade of local Central Vermont sports video action. Get ready, because it's time for the CBT Sport Game of the Week.
My daddy made this. Daddy!
U32 girls basketball is made possible by Central Vermont Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, 802-793-8695. And by Happy Good Day, local Vermont kid-designed apparel and gift items, happy-good-day.com. And by the U32 Boosters Club. And also by Trombley Electric, 802-279-8607, trombley.electric@gmail.com to reach them. Today's game is brought to you by Wilson Consulting Engineering, providing heavy civil engineering and construction management services. The game is made possible by Parker's Quick Stop, family-owned and operating years, open 7 days a week for all of your gas and convenience needs. Open 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., even on holidays. Located on 15 Berlin Street in Montpelier. Thank you to Parker's Quick Stop. This game is made possible by Sponsor-Spots.com. Sponsor Spots is a simple way to raise money and feature sponsors on your website. Visit Sponsor-Spots.com. Sponsor Spots by 3Spark.
I told him how much I disagreed with that.
Welcome, Hoop fans, into U32 High School, where, gosh, is it still morning? Is it the top of noon yet? It is, where this afternoon we have the U32 Raider girls playing host to the Harwood Union Highlanders. Welcome in again, Hoop fans. I'm Lori Shepard alongside the coach, Tanya McCauley. And Coach, welcome into CVT Sport. 1 week left in the regular season. We've got two teams right now. Sitting at number 9 are the Harwood Highlanders with a record of 10-5. The U32 Raiders sitting at 5-11 in the 13th seed. But U32 coming off a huge win over Lake Region the other night, 45-37. Both teams looking at the week ahead. Counting today, U32 4 games left, Harwood 5 games left. Yes, folks, we're talking in a 1 week span. Coach, 1 week left in the season. What are you And what are these coaches feeling today?
Well, we're feeling a lot of excitement, but we're also exhausted at this point in the season. Now down the home stretch is really where all the marbles fall. We're looking at where we're falling in seeds, who we're going to play, what do we need to do? Do we need to change things up? Do we keep things the same? So many things play factor into this coming week.
Absolutely, and to say every game is so important is an incredible understatement this time of year. But you look at both these ball clubs, I'm going to throw it to you. You had a nice talk with Coach Young before the game. Harwood trying to find their footing, so to say, at this late in the season, but you know why.
Absolutely. When I talked to Coach Tommy Young, he talked about how they're trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to figure out who they are without Eloise now, and their rotation and who plays best with who, and who's the leader. So all of that takes, a toll on them. He also mentioned about how Eloise used to get 2 defenders. They would double team her all the time, which would leave somebody else open. And now that that's not happening, everyone has to work just a little bit harder. So he's just finding his footing with that. He said, they really got to keep Clara out of the lane, and Paige Parker out, watch her from the outside. And to really be patient and figure out what they need to do next.
Absolutely, and you just don't. We always talk about next man up in sports, but Eloise Lilly, you and I both know what she's done in 4 years. 1,000-point scorer literally on one leg this season. But again, both teams, Harwood coming off losses in the last week to Lamoille and North Country. Those 2 teams in the top 4 as it is in Division 2. And Division 2 is so strong, Coach, and you know that. You lose one game and you go from a 5th seed to an 8th seed. So both of these squads looking to get on a bit of a run. Again, Harwood, 5 games to go. U32 winning the other night, and they've got Thetford and Randolph on the schedule coming up, whereas Harwood has today's game, and then they have People's Academy, Montpelier High School, and Lake Region before they finish it out with Spalding High School. Coach, I'm going to throw it your way for the Harwood Union starting 5.
All right, we have Rona Chalmers. We have Anna Long. We have number 5, Maddie Grace Riley. Number 13, Cheyenne Keller. And number 22, Kendra Rochalou.
Rochalou, and again, the U32 Raiders coming in with a record of 10-5, sitting at that 9th seed. Every game so important. For the U32 Raiders coming in with a record of 5-11, starting at guard, a senior number 1, Clara Wilson. Starting at the guard position, a junior number 2, Paige Parker. Rounding out the backcourt for U32, a junior number 3, Lydia Trombley. And Coach Meckelson talked about her being the defensive stopper for the team. In the front court, a junior number 12, Rhea Shaw. And rounding out the starting 5 for Coach Meckelson, a sophomore number 14, Peyton Pecor. Hoop fans, we are just a national anthem away from this Division II game this afternoon. We'll be right back. Welcome back into U32 High School, where today's game is being brought to you on CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net. A couple of keys to the game from Coach Mickelson is Lydia, I always forget Lydia's last name, God bless her, Lydia Tremblay being the defensive stopper, because, Coach, that's what I call her. She's the defensive wizard. And try to get Peyton Pecor going early, which I like that thought process as well. The Harwood Highlanders in their road black uniforms, the U32 Raiders in their home white. Jumping it up will be Pecor for U32 and Chalmers for Harwood. Off the tip, controlled by Maddie Grace Riley. U32 coming out in their 2-3 zone by the look of it, over to Chalmers on the left side. She sizes it up, one and done. Great board by Shaw. Up ahead to Wilson. Harwood sitting in their 2-3 zone, so we'll see which 2-3 zone is most effective here in the early going. Over to Paige Parker, down over to Pecor, and that trying to establish that high-low game, Coach, with Pecor in the high post and Shaw on the low block.
Yeah, with Rocheleau in the inside, they have to be very careful with those passes.
And she's denying high and almost getting pinned on that baseline, but off the turnover, we're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the U32 Raiders. So both teams in that 2-3 zone, Coach, and just kind of, those first 2 minutes of the game.
Got to get the cobwebs out.
So Parker running the point over on the left side to Wilson. Again, that high-low tandem of Pecor and Shaw.
Nice give and go.
Great give and go, Coach, and Shaw rolling out to give Clara Wilson the lane. And good interior defense by the Highlanders gives the Highlanders the ball back. We got Maddie Grace on the left side. Over to Rocheleau and over to Chalmers. They want to get Chalmers going early, and they do just that. Chalmers starts off the scoring here with a three-pointer for the Highlanders.
Great outside shooter.
Down low to Pecor, goes in the paint, draws two, kicks it back out, working it around the perimeter really well are the Raiders. Shaw back out to Clara Wilson. Wilson looks for a corner, nothing there. Trombley will reset the offense. And what a nice interior pass by Trombley. There was 3 black jerseys.
She threaded that needle.
So the scoring started by Chalmers. And my producer's all over everything. Pen's not working, he's all over it. Shot by Trombley, a three-pointer. No good enough. The jump ball possession will go back to the Highlanders. 2 minutes in to the game, and a three-pointer by Chalmers, the only scoring so far. Riley brings it up. Again, U32 in the 2-3 zone. Over on the right side to Long. Down low to Keller, and Keller just losing a handle on the leather. Kind of has that playoff vibe right now. You can feel the tension right now.
Absolutely. Big games for both these teams.
They just get bigger and bigger as the week unfolds.
Of course, that's what you want towards the end of the season anyways. You want big games.
Absolutely. And we're going to have our second foul. First one going on Long, this one going on Rona Chalmers. Team's second and Chalmers first. Got Shaw in that high post. Now they're both dropped down. Pecor steps out. A very active 2-3 zone by both teams. Harwood doubling up wherever the ball is, except out on that. They're going to double up again on Wilson. If anything, you want the ball out of Wilson's hands.
Absolutely.
She is so strong and such a phenomenal player. Parker for 3. And that's what Coach Mickelson would love to see, is a few more of those shots going up.
So close, but just couldn't get that one to drop.
And both teams trying to establish that inside-out game. U32 doing a nice little chess match, whether it's the high-low game or 2 on the block. And a lot of screens being set as well. Off the inbound by Trombley. Pecor just can't grab a handle on it. So here comes Chalmers and Harwood. Pecor and Trombley just active hands and feet. Resetting the offense is Riley. Over to Chalmers, who has checked into the game, and off
Nice
of
rebound.
the rebound and putback is Rocheleau. And that'll drive a coach nuts. They don't get that good shot, but then that offensive board putback, and a good job by Rocheleau of keeping the ball up.
That weak side rebound. Oh, that weak side rebound.
Parker with the skip over to Trombley, down to Wilson. And Trombley trying to save it.
Nice hustle.
Yep, great hustle by Trombley.
She is quite the spark for the U32 Raiders.
First player I asked Coach Mickelson, talk about your win over Lake Region, and it was Lydia Trombley and what she brings on both ends. But as I always call her, the defensive wizard for U32. Nice little high-low game going by Harwood. The kick back out to Chalmers, in and out, but a nice offensive board by Long. And U32 got away with a travel call there, meaning giving up another offensive board to Harwood. And Coach, we're halfway through the first quarter, and you know how it gets when you're halfway through that quarter and you just can't, you're not watching the leather go through the cylinder.
Yes, it becomes frustrating. They just have to settle in, and they will start to fall.
And it's that, the mental side of the game.
Absolutely.
You see the shoulders kind of get rounded. They're getting some good looks. It just hasn't fallen
And
yet.
they have great ball movement. Inside to outside, outside to inside. It's wonderful to see.
And Pecor's a solid passer out of that high post. Wow, saving
Wow.
it is Addie Chalmers for Harwood, and here comes Rona Chalmers the other way, and the ball just gets tipped nicely to Riley, who misses, but another offensive board by the Highlanders, this time by Rona Chalmers. That's what's killing U32 so far in this game.
Yep. They got to get that position and box those girls right out of there.
Pecor with the first U32 foul of the afternoon. Chalmers will step to the line. Not really the person you want at the line. That you have a choice when the scrum for the rebound takes place. 6-0 Highlanders, 3:22 to go in the first quarter. 2 team fouls on the Highlander, 1 on U32. In and out on the second shot for Chalmers. Here comes Trombley the other way for U32. Over to Parker. Parker right to left. And great defense by the Highlanders. They are right in their hip pocket. And a good idea by Paige Parker, trying to get that nice little bounce entry pass to Pecor in the high post.
They are giving Paige quite a bit of space on the outside, which is a little surprising, but right now it's working for them.
And as you said, Coach, good ball movement by U32. Nice entry pass by Wilson. Nice up and under.
Just can't get that to fall, but beautiful.
And right back to Pecor they go. And trying to get it kicked back out, but Keller getting a hand on it. We'll have a jump ball that will give possession back to U32. And what a phenomenal up and under move by Pecor.
Every time I watch her do that, you know, I'm more amazed, except for when she's playing us. But that move is just amazing.
And the only thing when she got the ball on the left side was she just brought the basketball down, and then that's free game, and you had 3 black jerseys around her. But possession back to U32. Checking in for the Raiders is Ava Price. Back down to Pecor, who draws a crowd. Nice cut by Clara Wilson. Such a smart basketball player, knowing that Pecor is going to draw 2 to 3 black jerseys. First bucket of the game, build the confidence up for the Raiders. Good ball movement to Long. A little deflection by Pecor.
Got a little bit of that,
and Wilson gets out of it. And here come the running Raiders.
Clara Wilson sees the floor so well.
She certainly does. Such a smart basketball player, and her basketball IQ is off the charts. Price trying to get it back on top to Parker. Over to Price. Nice little ball fake and take. Unfortunately, she dragged that pivot foot, but she had a Wilson open on the right side. Coming into the game for Harwood is Ava Regan. Out is Cheyenne Keller. Chalmers to Long off of the skip. Long taking it to the hole, a little too hard off the glass, and Price comes away with the defensive board. One and done, that's what Coach Meckelson's gonna wanna see here, control those defensive boards. Parker tries to split the defenders, ball down with her strength, gets it back out to Parker. Makes its way to Gould, who has checked in for U32. Nowhere to go, good job by Price.
This Harwood defense is suffocating right now. They are everywhere.
And always active hands helps. The shot goes up by Chalmers, no good. And again, U32 doing a better job on the defensive boards. Under 50 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Wilson on top to Parker, over to Price. Pecor in that high post. Looks for a cutting Wilson, sees the cutting Wilson. And a reverse layup by Wilson as she gets hacked across the arm. And that's, I do not want to CVT jinx you, but that is who you want to see at the foul line for the Raiders. It's like a podcast jinx, a CVT jinx. Once you say something positive.
Oh,
thank you, Clara. Thank you. First shot by Wilson is good. Keller back into the game, Long out for the Highlanders. And in for the Raiders, back in is Shaw, out is Pecor. Great job by Pecor here in the first quarter. Stick around after the game where Coach McCauley will have the CVTsport.net player of the game. Second shot by Wilson is up and good.
Beautiful shot, beautiful shot. Nothing but net there.
So 6-4, 39 seconds to go. Wilson out and Megan Pitsley in, just a freshman. Coach McCauley, you saw her jump shot in that second game against us. I think she lit us up for 9 points in one quarter.
Yeah,
the kid can shoot.
Absolutely, especially, you know, freshmen often get those jitters, and boy, she didn't have any that night.
The great thing about watching freshmen on the varsity level, you're going from junior high to varsity, the speed and the physicality, it's watching them improve and get stronger, and Pitsley's jump shot definitely better and better as the season goes along. Chalmers loses a handle, over to Keller for three. Good shot by Keller.
Nice positioning.
Great positioning, as Coach said, by Gould. That was solid on that block. Price with a jumper. Two-pointer, big bucket for Ava Price and the Raiders.
They have to start shooting from the outside there to draw them out so they can get to the interior.
And a good job trying to defend.
Oh,
I was going to say, I really thought that Riley was going to get the bounce. But a very entertaining first quarter here at U32. We'll step out for a quick Gatorade break. And when we come back, second quarter action. We are knotted up at 6. Back here at U32 High School, Lori Shepard alongside Coach Tanya McCauley, Aiden Boyd, our producer, and Garrett Sicily on the camera. And Garrett's only here because Duke doesn't play till later. As we start the second quarter, Harwood with possession. Chalmers goes baseline, the kick back out to Long, and stealing it is Lydia Trombley. Oh, nice job by Maddie Grace Riley, stepping into the passing lane and finishing at the other end. Good defense by Riley.
She read that the whole way.
So first bucket here of the second quarter. Pitsley on top, back over to Trombley. Trombley for three, hits the front iron, but guess who's there for the offensive putback? Freshman Megan Pitsley. Making her presence known here. We're knotted up at 8, just 1 minute into the second quarter. Keller, Chalmers running that baseline, back out to Riley. Over to Long, wide open in that little seam. Ball sails a little too far out of bounds. Possession will go back to U32.
You know, Pitsley really does not play like a freshman. She moves on the pass. She doesn't wait for it to land, which is wonderful to see.
It's that basketball IQ we love so much. Pitsley on the left side looks down low to Gould. Shaw in the high post, Gould out on the baseline. Trying to pull that zone out and a little bit of an overload on one side. And out of full. Possession will stay right here with the Raiders. Pitsley will inbound to Wilson. Again, Harwood in the 2-3 zone. U32 matching that zone. And Pitsley thought Wilson was V-cutting back out, but Wilson was making the cut. But again, there's Pitsley with a defensive board for U32 off the Harwood miss.
Right where she needs to be at all times.
Wilson for three.
Just a little long.
And a rebound by Maddie Grace Riley. A little shake and bake right to left by Riley. Looking for Keller, back on top to Long. And Trombley right in the hip pocket. Riley will pull it back out to Long along the baseline, draws a crowd, nowhere to go, gets it back out to Riley. Rocheleau with the ball screen. Gets it to Keller, who gets a nice look. And a scrum for the rebound. Pitsley comes away with it over to Trombley up the right side. And a good job of defensive transition, we'll call it, by Long, able to deflect the ball out of bounds. Pace is picking up, huh?
Yeah, I think U32 does need to push the ball more to get Harwood out of positioning. That helped them on that play right there.
Oh,
beautiful.
wide open. Wide open is Shaw for the, just lays it in. Nice out of bounds play run by U32. Addie Chalmers back into the game for Harwood. The skip over to Riley. Puts up the shot, no good, and trying to rip it away is everybody, and it deflects out to Clara Wilson. That was a bit of a scrum there for the rebound, but both teams very active on the board. U32 doing a much better job after the first 2 minutes of the game on the defensive boards.
I was just going to say, I think Coach Mickelson had a little chat with her team, and they're definitely on those boards much better.
The foul going on Rona Chalmers, that will be her second. She will take a seat on the bench with those 2 fouls, and that's a key cog for Coach Young and the Highlanders. Parker back on top, goes right to left, on top to Shaw, Trombley, trying with that entry pass into Gould. Little bounce, Trombley back to Wilson. Goes into that high post, and active hands again by Harwood. Maddie Grace Riley going the distance, but not able to knock it home. Gould comes away with the rebound. Very active hands. Parker for 3, no good.
Great rebound.
Wilson
by
comes
Wilson.
away with the rebound. What do you
Round
think
the
of that
horn.
shot?
Went round the horn on that one. Put it right in.
And again, U32, they've got to be aware of Harwood's active hands and their length in that 2-3 zone. A little fake to make a pass, and answering at the other end. Maddie Grace Riley with a huge 3. Raiders with a 1-point lead. Tremblay tries at the other end for 3. And a scrum for the rebound. Coming away with it is Chalmers for Harwood. Stepping into the passing lane is Paige Parker. And Parker is going to get bailed out a little bit, a little out of control. She'll step to the line for 2. Those are the fouls that drive coaches absolutely insane.
Absolutely, especially when you have somebody open underneath the basket.
So that foul is going on Addie Chalmers. That is her first and the team's second. No fouls on U32 so far in the second quarter. Parker's first shot is up and good.
Surprisingly, that's her first points of the game.
Bukowski in for Harwood and Keller back in for Harwood as well, along with Peyton Pecor for the Raiders. Second shot no good. Maddie Grace Riley with the board. Riley coming the other way. Again, both teams in the 2-3 zone here in the first half. Very active. And
just
trying,
a little strong.
Yeah, just a little strong. Chalmers trying to hit that baseline runner. Just a little bit too much mustard on that. We'll give the ball back to U32 with 3:20 to go here in the first half, and Raiders with a 2-point lead. Clara Wilson for 3 off the back iron, and ball falling in the hands of Ava Regan, back in for Harwood as well. And again, those passes. Do I dare say another thing that gives coaches gray hairs? When you're getting out in transition and it's just you're so amped up and you want to make that perfect pass.
Oh, and another one.
And, yep, stepping on the line is Parker trying to.
And, they see it, and they see that open girl, and they try to get it there. They're excited she's wide open, and there it goes.
And I take that back. That was Emmons stepping on the line for U32. Sylvia Emmons, the junior, into the game for Coach Mickelson and the Raiders. And a good timeout by Coach Young, as definitely pinned on that baseline. 30-second timeout, and we'll take it to 2:47 to go to the half. Raiders by 2. Back here at U32 out of the timeout. Today's game being brought to you on CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net. Good timeout by Coach Young. Harwood getting pinned on that baseline. And off the entry pass, the deflection goes out to Ava Regan, who makes U32 pay. Nice little 8-10 foot jumper by Regan. Knots things up at 13 with just under 3 minutes to go. Down low to Shaw, turnaround. Pecor trying to rip away that rebound. But unfortunately, she is on the line position. Will go back to Harwood.
She's such a force underneath that basket.
Riley bringing it up for Harwood. Again, U32 and Harwood both in the 2-3 zone. Bukowski asking for it on that block. Instead, Riley puts up the 3. We'll have a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Raiders. Again, no fouls. Team fouls for U32 in the second quarter. Wilson on the baseline. Good look, and a ripping the rebound away is Keller for Harwood. Here comes.
Pecor gets great positioning. She just needs to box her out a little bit more.
Use the body a little bit more, Coach. Getting pinned on the baseline, but passing out. And then Keller tries to get it over to Riley on that left side, and it goes out of bounds. Another turnover for the Highlanders here.
U32's got to use this. It's their opportunity at this point.
Nice look by Pecor. in that mid-range high-low game. Hits Shaw down on the block. She'll step to the line for 2. That foul going on Addie Chalmers. That is that is her second. Thanks, Coach. And the team's third. First shot by Shaw. It rattles around and out. Second shot. The bank is open. 1 point lead for the Raiders. 1:35 to go here in the first half. Riley over to Long. Down low to Regan. They got that trap working nicely on the baseline, do the Raiders. Nice fake and take by Riley, but one and done is Shaw coming down with the big board for the Raiders. Up ahead to Parker, who splits the seam. Nice little runner. That's a nice move by Parker. We're gonna have a little push foul by Parker. I guess that wasn't a little foul, that was probably a... So that will be the first foul on U32 here in the second quarter. The first on Parker as well. Clara Wilson patrolling the middle of that 2-3 zone, and Riley hits back iron with her 3-point attempt. Big rebound by Clara Wilson.
I love the way she corralled that ball.
That's what you'd like to see more of.
Oh,
and keeping
beautiful.
the ball up. You bring it down, it's free game. Shaw goes baseline the kick. Back on top from Emmons to Parker. And Parker just can't find her range here in the first half, but shooters shoot. Riley, 30 seconds to go over to Long. Down to Regan on the baseline. Puts up the shot, and Clara Wilson comes away with a big board for U32 coming up the right side. She looks at Pecor down low. Back out to Shaw, and Wilson there with a defensive board on the weak side. Couldn't ask for anything more from Wilson on that. Big rebound on that weak side block. 3-point lead for the Raiders. And the horn sounds as the ball deflects out of bounds. A defensive battle here in the first half finds U32 on top by 3. Coach and I will step out for a quick Gatorade break, and when we come back, Coach McCauley will break down the first half and we'll take a look at the scoring. Again, U32 on top, 16-13.
U32 girls basketball is made possible by Central Vermont Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, 802-793-8695. And by Happy Good Day, local Vermont kid-designed apparel and gift items, happy-good-day.com. And by the U32 Boosters Club. And also by Trombley Electric, 802-279-8607. TrombleyElectric@gmail.com to reach them. Today's game is brought to you by Wilson Consulting Engineering, providing heavy civil engineering and construction management services. Game is made possible by Parker's Quick Stop, family owned and operated for over 40 years, open 7 days a week for all of your gas and convenience needs, open 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., even on holidays, located on 15 Berlin Street in Montpelier. Thank you to Parker's Quick Stop. This game is made possible by Sponsor-Spots.com. Sponsor Spots is a simple way to raise money and feature sponsors on your website. Visit Sponsor-Spots.com. Sponsor Spots by 3Spark.
Vermont middle and high High school students can start college for free at the Community College of Vermont. Get a taste of college life and learn about options after high school by attending an Access Day and enrolling in our Intro to College and Careers class. Juniors and seniors are eligible for 2 dual enrollment vouchers, each good for 1 free CCV course. And seniors can complete their last year of high school and first year of college at the same time through the Early College program. They can even stay at CCV and earn a free associate degree through the McClure Free Degree Promise. Learn more at gotocollegevt.org.
This game is made possible by locally owned Packard Fuels. Located in East Montpelier, Vermont, Packard Fuels is a proud and generous supporter of local high school sports and community events. Packard Fuels, your provider of home heating oil and service with a friendly staff that greets you with a smile. Owned by Ellery Packard III, Packard Fuels, 802-262-3835. Packard Fuels, keeping you warm.
Granite, coffee, manufacturing, food.
It's not easy to make a living in Vermont. We really are the bank behind almost every industry. We care about businesses growing and succeeding because that success is our success. We're a billion-dollar bank made up of thousands of Vermont businesses.
Our customers make fresh coffee for great conversations and pull us out of the ditch on a cold, snowy night.
Wherever you are laying down your roots, taking a risk, building a dream, we're here.
Tournament Specialties is a proud sponsor of Central Vermont Sports. If you are in need of decorated apparel such as t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, or outerwear, look no further. Tournament Specialties is located in Barrie and would love to work with you on taking your design to the next level. In addition to their and printing services, now that allows for custom etching on drink caps and other etching needs. Jeff, storefront options for your organization. If you are looking to fundraise, work very well. Many and to learn more, email at Gmail.
Possible Vermont athlete in 1954, a community working to the world crisis. You can find more information at FCA
back here at U32 High School. Hoop fans, you're watching this afternoon's game on CVTV723.org, CVTsport.net. Aiden Boyd, our producer, Garrett Sisley on the camera, the coach, Tanya McCauley, and myself, Lori Shepard. I always find myself alongside Coach McCauley quite often in the wintertime.
Thank goodness.
What do you think of that first half, Coach?
You know, it was zone versus zone battle.
Yep.
You know, they both have great hands. I do think that U32, you know, they've got to pressure more and get out in transition. Pecor needs to, you know, really keep that ball up strong. And, you know, Harwood had Chalmers out, which, you know, helped U32, and now she's going to be back, so they have to utilize that. We'll see
Coach,
what happens.
what do we always say? First 3 minutes of the third quarter is so key.
Crucial.
Harwood with possession to start off the third quarter, long on the baseline and ripping down and getting some good air is Peyton Pecor. Up the left side to Wilson, who gets a ball screen from Pecor.
Great ball pressure from Chalmers.
And Chalmers has got that length as well. Active hands, but the length helps so much. Trombley gets it to Pecor in the mid-range area in the paint. Tries to muscle it up, and coming away with the board is Keller for Harwood. Clara Wilson leading the way for U32 in the first half with 8 points, and Maddie Grace Riley leading Harwood with 5 points. Big three-pointer there in the second quarter. 3-point lead, 1 minute in. And Wilson comes away with the rebound from the floor, gets it up to Paige Parker. A streaking Wilson gets it over to the weak side to Trombley. Down low to Shaw, but not able to corral it. And we talked about maybe some nice little bounce passes.
Yeah, they definitely have to
in the
get
post.
those bounce passes in there.
How often do you think, big shot by Maddie Grace Riley coming away with the rebound is Wilson, how many times do you think in the course of a season, winter sports is long, we say, utilize the bounce pass, ladies? Do we hit 500?
Oh my gosh, so many times. So many times during every game. Bounce pass, bounce pass.
And it's, you know, we talk about the fundamentals. That's one of the key fundamentals. I know that Coach McCauley also says ball fake about 500 times. Another key fundamental on offense. Riley wide open for the three.
Gotta pick her up.
You cannot do that. She was kind of looking for the offensive set, but the top of that 2-3 zone wide open. Knotted up at 16, 2 minutes into this third quarter. And trying for the entry pass, it gets to Pecor instead.
Fell hard on that one.
We heard that one. They might have heard that one at the Civic Center as well.
Strong kid, though. Got right back up.
And a nice bounce pass entry into Shaw. It never made its way to her hands, but got to Parker on the weak side. She'll step to the line for two. First shot uses a lot of the cylinder, but does not fall. And right now, Pecor just needs to see the ball go through the cylinder to build a little confidence, and there you go. Nice clean shot by Peyton, gives the Raiders a 1-point lead. Maddie Grace goes to that same spot. She just hit a three.
They picked her up this time.
Yes. Indeed, that's not going to happen twice. Paige Parker steps in the passing lane, deflects it out of bounds. Possession right here with Harwood. Riley will set up the offense. We've got two Chalmers out there, Addie Chalmers. Nice deflection, active hands. Lands the ball in the hands of Clara Wilson, who comes up the right side, getting it down low to Shaw. Little, not really established herself. Shaw turns and takes the shot. Here comes the Highlanders the other way. Keller on the left side. Baseline runner is Addie Chalmers. A little out of sorts right now. I think they're going to reset the offense, and they do indeed get the ball in the hands of Riley. Skip to Keller. Nice fake and take. But again, the Raiders doing a good job on the defensive board. One and done. Lydia Trombley. You can see them, Coach, trying to push the tempo, U32, here in the second half, just like you wanted.
Yeah.
Addie Chalmers splits the top of that 2-3 zone.
I think they had a little miscommunication there on who was taking it.
And I'd be remiss, I did not mention that Rona Chalmers picked up her third foul here quickly in the third quarter. And I mean quickly, she is on the bench for Coach Young and the Highlanders. I said 2 Chalmers out there, there is not. The kick out to Parker for 3. And right on target, just not enough legs. U32 wanting so desperately to get Parker going as well. What a strong take by Wilson.
I'd
No
like to see
call.
her take that outside shot.
And getting it up ahead, as we talked about in the first half, get so excited when you get out in transition. The pass, just a little too much juice on it. Trombley will take a breather for U32. Back into the game for U32 is Ava Price, the junior guard, senior guard. Pecor in that high post. Turns, sees a crease.
Beautiful
gets
bounce
it
pass.
down low. And Coach, what did you say? A bounce pass. Nice job by Pecor and Shaw in that high-low game for U32. Riley looking for her shot. Pecor, nice defense. Price and Pecor.
There's that pressure
And
they needed.
nice job. Right on cue, Coach, and Parker coming away with the steal. And the lay-in at the other end, a nice transition bucket. Just what Coach wanted to see by U32. Gives them a 5-point lead.
Clara does such a great job of seeing what's happening and taking off to get there for her.
We are going to have a full timeout on the floor, and we'll take it to 3:16 to go here in the third quarter. Raiders on top by 5. Back here at U32 High School, Lori Shepard alongside the coach Tanya McCauley, Aiden Boyd, our producer, and Garrett Sicily on the camera. Today's game being brought to you by CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net. Out of the full timeout by Harwood.
Great
Oh,
pick.
trying to get it back on top to Long. And Parker trying to step in the passing lane. No go, and a good drop down to Pakowski. Trying that up and under move, but just drags that pivot foot.
Yeah, we talked about that at the break. Those bigs getting that up and under move on both teams is crucial.
And Pakowski, just a freshman for Coach Young and the Highlanders. On the baseline to Shaw. And a good job on the weak side block by Long. Wilson tips it out of bounds. Possession will stay with Harwood. 2:44 to go here in the third quarter. 1 week left in the regular season. And Clara Wilson's got her hands full, but what a great job defensively by Wilson. She may have got pushed away a little bit, but came back and able to deflect that entry pass in to the post is Wilson.
That's the one, one of the things that I love about Clara is she just plays.
Yep, indeed, indeed.
One of my favorite sayings from Don Staley, let the main thing be the main thing and just keep playing.
Just keep playing. Gould back into the game for Shaw. Pecor in the paint, able to get it to Gould. Back on top to Parker for 3.
There
And
it
nothing
is.
but net. I got really excited off that ball movement
I knew
because
that was coming eventually.
Exactly, Coach. Shooters shoot. And an 8-point lead. Long trying to answer on the other side and does
skip
just
pass.
that. Off of the skip right in that seam, knocks it down. 6-point lead for U32. Pecor in that high post. Nice little inside out game. Pecor losing a handle on the leather, but getting it back.
Right back.
They go
Never
back to
give up.
Pecor. Nice inside out movement. Gould with the shot from the baseline. And both jobs doing a good job on the defensive board. Great poke away by Paige Parker coming up behind Riley. Here come the running Raiders. Oh, and trying to get it down to Pecor. Good move, but Chalmers right there in the passing lane.
Again, that bounce pass would have been wonderful
Yes.
right there.
Addie Chalmers takes it the other way for Harwood. She'll step to the line for 2. This foul going on Paige Parker, her second and the team's first. U32 doing a good job of staying out of foul trouble. First shot up by Chalmers, uses the shooter's roll, or bounce we're gonna call it. Back in is Rona Chalmers for Harwood. Ava Regan giving Coach Young some good minutes here this afternoon. Second shot is up and good.
Beautiful shot.
And Addie Chalmers, just a freshman as well as Pekowski. So 2 freshmen for Coach Tommy Young. Cuts the deficit to 4 points. Parker up to Ava Price. High-low game working. Pecor kicks it out to Price. Pecor there with the rebound, strong move. Found herself a little too far down low behind the backboard. So here comes Harwood the other way. I tell you what, fighting for positioning in that paint is fun to watch. Deflection, and here come the Raiders. Ball in the hands of Parker, over to Gould, back to Parker. And coming away with the board is Keller. Big rebound.
Pecor had a piece of that, but she just stole it away from her.
And rotating on the top of that 2-3 zone. Price doing a good job of communicating. Out to Riley. Pecor gets out on it. Might have deflected it, might have not. But it gets
Good
right
move.
back to Riley. And a nice take by Maddie Grace Riley along the baseline. She'll step to the line for 2. And that's what's getting Harwood back in this game is the charity stripe. Addie Chalmers going 2 for 2 about a minute ago, and Maddie Grace Riley steps to the line for 2. Missing the first. That foul goes on Gould. That is her first and the team's second. Second shot is up and good. Three-point lead, 18 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Price back on top to Parker. Looking down low to Wilson, but that one had a little bit too much mustard on it.
Nice pressure from Wilson.
Oh, and Keller puts the shot up.
That's Parker's third foul.
Yep. And the foul will go on Parker, and this is literally for 3 quarters, well, 2.5 I'm gonna call it, U32 staying out of foul trouble. And now we've got 3 trips to the line for Harwood in the last minute and a half of this third quarter. Keller at the line for 2. First shot is up and good. Rona Chalmers.
Good move, taking her out so she doesn't get that fourth with
Exactly.
very little time left.
Great point, Coach, and Ava Regan back in for Harwood. Second shot finds back iron. And that'll end things here. We've got 3 quarters in the book. We'll step out for a quick break, and when we come back, fourth quarter action. Raiders clinging to a 2-point lead. back here at U32. Aiden Boyd, our producer, Garrett Sisley on the camera, and Coach McCauley and I with the call here this afternoon. Tie game at the end of the first, 3-point lead by U32 at the half, and U32 clinging to a 2-point lead. 8 minutes to go, Coach. This is going to be fun.
It's fun on this side.
It is fun on this side. Yes, it is.
I don't feel any pressure.
Skip over to Wilson, trying to turn the corner, and Rona Chalmers is all over her. Nice job by Pecor in the high post. A little bounce pass, a little give and go.
Love
by
the
Clara
give and
Wilson. Love it. And love it off that high post. When you have a guard and a high post player that can pass like that, fun to watch. Trombley will inbound. That foul going on Chalmers, her fourth. And we're not even a minute into this. And that's on Chalmers. She is out of the game. It is indeed. So mark that down. 7:37 to go in the fourth. And Rona Chalmers is out of the game for Harwood. Understatement, just calling her a key cog. She is a leader and such a solid player on both ends of the floor.
Absolutely. U32 has to take advantage of this.
And back into the game for U32 is freshman Megan Pitsley as well. Pecor in that high post. Good job by Trombley and Wilson. Out to Pitsley. Gets a nice look, does Pitsley, but Riley coming away with a defensive board for Harwood. And the big player that they got to watch out for, meaning U32, is Maddie Grace Riley. And a great job by Keller and a good look.
You know, Keller is not someone to sleep on.
She is that lunch pail mentality working on both ends.
She has been key this game for them.
You look at Kendra Rocheleau, who she saw on that weak side, did Keller. Sends Rocheleau to the line, missing the first. Shaw back into the game to give Pecor a rest. What a nice rotation Mickelson has, though. Coach has with Gould, Shaw, and Pecor. We got a violation here?
Yep.
So that'll give her.
Pitsley just stepped over the line a little early.
Rocheleau's third shot is good. 1-point game. 6:50 to go here in the final quarter. Trombley down low to Shaw, tries to get it into Pitsley, but a good job by Rocheleau, stepping right in front on that ball side block. Oh, Maddie Grace wide open for three.
Yeah, bank was open on that one.
As she let go of it, I'm like, that's got a bank, and it does indeed, to give Harwood their first lead here in the second quarter.
That's her third three. Got to step out on her.
High post, Gould tries to get it back out, and we're going to have a backcourt violation. Momentum has picked up on the Highlander side, and that can be attributed to senior Keller, who has just picked up the intensity and done all the little things you got to have. Skip pass over to Long to Riley. Wide open fake and take by Riley. Nice ball fake by Riley.
Just a little short on that one.
Here comes Wilson and the Raiders. Gould in that high post, Shaw running the baseline.
Beautiful post up by Clara.
Trombley tries to save it, but just a little too far out of bounds. We'll give the ball back to Harwood. And we have definitely had a shift in momentum here. Long to Keller. Chalmers getting pinned on that baseline. Good job by Shaw and Wilson. Getting it up ahead to Wilson, who hits a streaking Shaw.
Beautiful.
Nice job. Good look by Wilson and nice strong take by Shaw, keeping the ball up and the kiss off the glass. Back to Chalmers at the other end. And a defensive board by Shaw. Knotted up at 26 as we approach 5 minutes to go in the game. Parker. Gould in that high post, the skip to Trombley. Back to Parker. Shaw into Gould. Again, that bounce pass over to Trombley. Good patience here by the Raiders. Shaw running that baseline, trying to extend that zone defense. And that just went off of Chalmers' fingertips. And coming back into the game for Gould will be Peyton Pecor. And Parker for three, almost got the shooter's roll.
Yeah.
And we got 4:20 to go here in the game, knotted up at 26. Keller looking down low to Rocheleau, back on top to Riley. Chalmers with the skip to Long, over to Keller on the baseline, and Pecor just fighting for that rebound.
That kid is so tough.
Three of them on that weak side block. Possession will go back to Harwood off the travel call. And a big rebound by Lydia Trombley for U32. Trombley to Pecor in the high post. Pecor kicks it back out to Shaw.
There's great patience right there.
To Trombley along that sideline. This foul's gonna go on Anna Long. That'll be the team's fourth. And the third on Anna Long. Inbounding it will be Trombley to Parker. Over to Trombley, inside to Pecor. Nice quick ball movement. Gets it back out, the inside-out game.
Nice screen, nice screen.
Take by Paige Parker. And a big rebound by Rocheleau. Here comes Maddie Grace. Little runner in the paint, hits back iron.
Follows her shot.
Nice job by Riley. Coach gotta love that, following your shot. There's another thing you say 500 times, right? A season, every coach does it. Riley over to Chalmers. Nice little fake and take by Chalmers. And the ball is tipped around right into the hands of Long, who goes back iron.
There's a little hot potato there.
Yeah, that is the perfect way to put it, Coach. That was a hot potato. And after the dust settles, that foul will go on Addie Chalmers. That is her fourth. As the fouls start to mount up, we're going to have a timeout on the floor, and we'll take it to 2:57 to go in the contest. We are knotted up at 26. Back here at U32 High School, and what an entertaining game, and the type of games you expect, Coach, at this time of the year.
You know, while I'm sitting up here, I love a tight game like this. On the floor, not so much.
Today's game is being brought to you by CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net. Down the low to Pecor.
Beautiful.
She sees Shaw on that block.
That
And
bounce pass.
I was just going to say, you want to talk about utilizing a bounce pass. Peyton Pecor putting on a clinic here this afternoon. Up ahead to Keller, and there's Clara Wilson
Just a
owning
little too
that
much
weak block.
mustard on that one, but
And you love Wilson camped out on that weak side block. One and done. Here come the Raiders.
That weak side block is so important.
Trombley looking at Pecor, gets it into her. Pecor, nice step
fade
into
away.
the paint, but guess who's there to
Oh,
pick
that
up?
weak side block once again.
Rhea Shaw on the weak side putback. 2 quick buckets by Shaw extends it to a 4-point lead by U32, and
U32's putting on a little pressure right now. See how Harwood handles that.
And Shaw with 11 points here on the afternoon for U32.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice
Beautiful
look.
ball movement right there.
Nice look in the paint, and
That
like
short
Coach
porch
said,
to middle of the paint. Oh, beautiful thing.
we're gonna have another timeout, and we're gonna take it to 1:46 to go. Raiders clinging to a 2-point lead.
Today's game is brought to you by Wilson Consulting Engineering, providing heavy civil engineering and construction management services.
Back here at U32 High School, out of the timeout. This game being brought to you by CVTV723.org and CVTsport.net. Aiden Boyd, our producer, Garrett Sisley on the camera, and Coach McCauley and I calling a great game here today between U32 and Harwood. Raiders clinging to a 2-point lead out of the timeout, possession with U32. And both going after the ball, but unfortunately, that one is going to go against Lydia Trombley. And the officials are going to chat things over, but the foul on Trombley, her first, and U32's second, to the dismay of the crowd.
Yeah, I was a little
Unpleasantness
confused.
of the crowd. I don't know what
confused
adjective.
on that one myself, I have to say.
Oh, Riley for 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And that is her 4th three-pointer of the afternoon, giving them
Key three-pointer.
the 1-point lead. And Coach is dead on. The key three-pointer here as we approach 1 minute to go. Pecor steps out, going strong to the hole, and just taking it away is Keller. And a timeout by Coach Young, a full timeout on the floor. And we'll take it to 52 seconds to go. Harwood now clinging to the 1-point lead.
Game is made possible by Parker's Quick Stop, family owned and operated for over 40 years, open 7 days a week for all of your gas and convenience needs, open 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., even on holidays, located on 15 Berlin Street in Montpelier. Thank you to Parker's Quick Stop.
At U32 High School, out of the timeout, Harwood with possession. That last set by U32, Pecor looking like she was going to muscle up for the lay-in, but Keller just stripping the ball away without drawing contact or a foul, gives Harwood the ball back with 52 seconds to go.
I guess Harwood will try and look for a stall at this point, and only for an easy bucket.
And just like that, Pecor steps into the passing lane. Wilson is going to take it, and Pecor, no foul.
Is that basket good?
Basket is not good because I
it's
believe the
called a
timeout was
timeout.
called. And what a sequence of events. We'll keep it right here. What a sequence of events. I'm still trying to remember who stepped in the passing lane for U32. I think it was Pecor. No,
Clara.
it was Clara Wilson to cause the turnover and getting it down to the other end. Good timeout by Coach Mickelson. Coach, you know how coaches feel. You need that timeout. There's 40 some odd seconds to go. You got to get the troops settled down because they were out of sorts, and then all of a sudden the ball falls into one of your players' hands.
And they look at you and they're like, Coach.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well.
There's
that's a
thing.
tough one.
It is a tough one, but you have to call the timeout. 43 seconds to go here. U32 now with possession. And like you had just said, Coach, is Harwood going to go into the stall? Are they going to spread the floor out and go to the foul line? But credit U32's defense on that inbound pass.
Absolutely. This inbounds is going to be so important for them.
And stick around after the game where Coach McCauley will be picking our CVTsport.net player of the game. Inbounded to Parker, receives a ball screen. Not a good shot, but Shaw looks like she has the rebound. Jump ball, no matter what, is giving the possession to Harwood.
Pecor did not give up on that.
And Shaw had the look, just not able to knock it down. And here goes U32 into the full court pressure. And off that pressure, turned over, ball in the hands of Parker for three. And coming away with the rebound is Addie Chalmers.
Wow.
Tying it up is Shaw, and possession goes to U32. Whew.
I'm so glad I'm not coaching this game.
Trombley will inbound for U32. Extended pressure, I was just about to say, give long credit. Extended pressure on Wilson. They were looking at, Trombley was looking at Wilson the whole time. Back to Harwood, and Maddie Grace Riley smart to pull it out for Harwood. Ball in the hands of Keller. And tie up, no, reach and foul.
That's a good foul. Put her,
No, they got fouls to give, so great foul, like Coach is saying. 2 more fouls to give with only 11.7 seconds left. Inbounding it is Chalmers to Maddie Grace. Back up to Chalmers. And another quick foul. Not quick, but off of
they got to be quicker on those fouls, but Maddie Grace did a great job of moving that ball up the court so they couldn't get to her.
7 seconds, they got to foul quickly here. And they do not. And reaching in that was 3 seconds that went off the clock before the foul, and those are precious seconds here.
Yep.
4.3 to go.
Puts her to the line.
Adelaide Chalmers will step to the line for Harwood. She is 2 for 2. Is the freshman here this afternoon. First shot, back iron. Looks like Coach Mickelson, no matter what, is going to call a timeout off. The second shot is up, and timeout called by U32. Timeout on the floor, and we'll take it to tick under 3 seconds to go here. Harwood clinging to a 1-point lead. Back here at U32 3.1 seconds to go. And U32, the officials get together because that, yeah, if it was a made basket, but it was, as Mike Orton talks, it not off a made basket. So Paige Parker tries to get the three-pointer from three-quarter court left.
What a great fight.
Hoping that if it didn't go in, there would be somebody there to tap it in. But Harwood just defended that to perfection. We'll step out for a quick break, and when Coach McCauley and I come back, we'll take a look at scoring and name the CVT Sport.net player of the game. Back here at U32 High School, Aiden Boyd, our producer, Garrett Sisley on the camera, Coach McCauley and I, and what an entertaining game we saw here this afternoon. You can tell there's 1 week left in the season.
They fought right to the end.
They certainly did, Coach, and it had that playoff feel.
Absolutely.
Right from the tip. U32 leading by 3 at the half, by just 2 at the end of the third quarter. And a big shot by Maddie Grace Riley. Harwood comes away with the 1-point win to improve to 11-5 on the season. With the loss, U32 falls to 5-12 on the season. Leading the way for U32, Clara Wilson with 10 points, and Rhea Shaw leads U32 with 11 points on the afternoon. Flip over to the Harwood side. We've got Maddie Grace Riley, 4 3-pointers on the afternoon to lead all scorers with 15 points. Kendra Rocheleau with 5, and Rona Chalmers in foul trouble, fouls out just 30 seconds into the fourth quarter with 4 points. So a big win by Coach Tommy Young and the Highlanders, and doing it without one of their big leaders, Rona Chalmers. I'm going to throw it to Coach McCauley, who's going to talk about the CVTsport.net player of the game. Take it away, Coach.
Well, I, don't always go with who got the most points. Riley did come through with that big 3, but I'm going to give it to Cheyenne Keller. She was a force on those boards tonight. She was the spark that kept them in this game the entire game.
And Coach, she's the one that caused that turnover where it looked like Pecor was just going to finish at the rim.
She stripped that ball from her and changed the momentum.
And when you talk about stripping the ball away, Coach, 75% of the time that's going to be a foul call.
Absolutely.
Right down there in the paint, so it was a clean strip. But what she did, her passing on the offensive end, her play on the defensive end, her play on the boards, and nothing bigger than the strip of Pecor in the paint. What Coach McCauley and I like to call it is that lunch pail mentality, where you come to work every day and you play those 32 minutes. Maddie Grace stepping it up with some big buckets with Chalmers out of the game. But our CVTsport.net player of the game, Cheyenne Keller, congratulations to Keller, the senior from Harwood, and congratulations to Coach Young and the Harwood Highlanders as they improve to 11-5 on the season. Coach, thank you so much. This was so much fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's do it again. For Aiden Boyd, our producer, Garrett Sisley on the camera, and for Coach McCauley, I'm Lori Shepard with the score one more time from U32, a road victory in this D2 jam-packed standings for the Harwood Highlanders, 31-30. It improves them to 11-5 on the season. Have a good weekend, everybody, and be safe out there.
This has been a local sports video production brought sport locator. Thank our longtime partners, CVTV 720.19 Central Vermont Community Access Television, and Orca Media in the Montpelier area is media for the people.
My Daddy.